We've all felt the shaking. And seen the destruction seismic activity can cause. But what if you had an extra 20, 30, even 60 seconds before the shaking starts to take cover? In Japan, it was the difference between life and death. An early warning system brought bullet trains to a stop and allowed businesses to shut down critical systems all before the shaking started.
If it's a hospital and you're about to cut into somebody, it's limiting risk, first of all. You're going to pull away, you're going to shut down systems.
Now it's technology California is working to implement.
The biggest challenge has been funds. It's been the funding. Once we have the funding in place, then it's a go. And with budgets restricted from state to federal to local, it's become a real big challenge.
But the Coachella Valley has found a way to dramatically reduce costs, include the private sector.
Once we begin to implement, then the private side, which would be seismic warning systems, would sell subscriptions to retail, to hospitals, and then from there, that's where earthquake warning would be distributed to those who subscribe.
And eventually, maybe even a phone app. The early earthquake warning system is already up and running here in the Coachella Valley at about a dozen different firehouses. Take a look. You can actually see the system in here. It's that gray box right up there, and it will sense the P waves. That happens about 30 seconds before the actual shaking of an earthquake starts. And when it's sensed, it will automatically open up the garage doors, protecting all of the fire equipment inside. To make this a reality statewide, lawmakers passed Senate Bill 135, requiring the Office of Emergency Services to create the warning system with a public-private partnership instead of waiting for government funding that may never arrive.
That the public-private partnerships are working well where we are, and they should be included, and they are now in the bill. And I think it's good for California that they put a system in place to detect these earthquakes. They can obviously put a lot of damage and loss of life and tremendous cost